In this video, we're going to check out the new Public 1.1 Beethoven firmware for the Deluge. We're going to cover one way of how you can use the audio clips on a grid workflow. We're going to set up a way you can resample and record audio clips into the pads. I'll try to keep this as simple as possible for beginners and advanced users. If all of this seems overwhelming, make sure to go to my playlist of the Deluge Bootcamp series to get familiar with the basics. I have loaded a pre-made template. You can also create your own templates. So after you set up your workflow, make sure to save it as empty, and then you can access it anytime you want to work in that setup. In other words, you can set it and then forget it. We're in song view because that's a solid blue light, and we're in grid mode. You can tell we're in grid mode by looking at the green, blue, and pink pads right here. If you're in the old rose view, and that's the original that you'll see on the Bootcamp series. So if you're in this view, hold down Song and turn the select knob till it says Grid. From this screen, I want to alter the master effects. So let's press Effect Entire and make sure it's turned on. We're going to go into Volume. We're going to set the master volume to 20. We set it to that volume to avoid clipping. Now let's press Sidechain here. We can turn up the threshold. The sidechain compressor settings are made so you get good results. You can just turn it up. Now in the left-hand column, I had already created some beats. So if I hold this down, it says Kit 81. Now, if I'm in blue mode, I can enter in. We can see the beat right there visually. Pressing Song, going back out. We can see all the beats that I made. Now, if we're in green mode, we can trigger the different beats. Now, this column, I have a synth preset that's set to stereo audio input. So this makes the synth oscillator running from audio in. I can set it up from a shortcut or from the menu. We're going to go into blue mode and enter in. So in here, I'm going to press the select knob. We're going to scroll down to oscillator 1, type, and then it's set to input stereo. So if you add a note, C3 all the way across, it'll just play the audio in signal without modifying the pitch. Now it won't play unless we activate the pad. Let's go back to grid view. Now I have the MIDI clock from the Deluge going into MIDI cake ARP and then into my Korg Electribe 2. Now we can check on here and we see sidechain is enabled. So if I press play, we can hear the synth signals coming back into audio line in through here. If I enable a beat, we'll be in green mode, enable a beat. Now you can hear it pumping with the sidechain. Now what we're going to do is create an audio clip. So I'm going to go into blue mode here. We're going to hold down on a column pad here. We're holding it because we didn't want to jump and enter into the clip. If you want to do that, you just tap it. I want to make an audio clip, so I'm going to hold down the pad and press down the select knob. It says audio track. Now we just have to set the audio source. We just have to do it one time. Make sure we're in blue mode. Hold down learn. Press the pad. Now it says audio source. I'm going to scroll all the way down to Deluge output, post effects. So I want this to record the entire Deluge output, including effects and internal drums. Let's exit out. Make sure effect entire is enabled. Press level. Now let's change the clip volume to 20 and turn up the sidechain. Now I can copy this over a few columns that we can work with. Make sure we're in blue mode, hold down the pad, and it's copying right over. Now let's go to green mode. Let's turn everything off except for the line in. We can change the color of the columns by holding down a pad and turning the left-right knob. So we can change this to a different color. For example, you can make regular recordings red and then other columns to be green, etc. So you don't have to learn all these steps all over again. Just save this file as a template file. You can now set up a default template file by holding Shift, push the select knob, go to Defaults, and then you scroll down to Startup Song. This way you can always have a blank canvas ready to go. So you could imagine making your own music, sounds, and everything, and then applying the following workflow. So all you have to do is load your custom template and off you go. So let's start with something basic here. So I have the line in on enabled on the green mode. All these are the blank audio clips, and here's the beats. So let's just press play here. Now I'm going to press record. We're in green mode. Let's just record this in. So now it's recording in until I'm going to press both. So now what's going to happen is That's all recorded in. Let's add some beat. You can hear it pumping because it's already set to the sidechain. So let's change the arpeggiator here. And what I'm going to do is press record. We're going to enable the next pad down and with drums this time. Press them all again. Now that's going to loop. Now since this is an oscillator, what I could do is copy this one down one pad. Now let's enable it and enter in. Now what I could do is press record. Let's just record. Now let's go back here. We can add some drums. Let's press play. Now we can hear what that sounds like. We're going to record that right in here. Let's copy the original down here. Now what I want to do is enter into it. So we're going to disable all that. Let's add a drum here just to hear for context. Blue mode, let's enter in. Press clip. We see all the gray shortcuts here. I'm just going to choose pitch. And now I'm going to push down the select knobs. It's called pad select mode. Hold down the first, last pads that we want to change. Now I just want to change this side. So I'm just going to turn it up to like 2. So it's rising. Let's go into the filter, for example. Now we're going to turn up the resonance as well, so that'll go up. So let's resample just this with a kick drum. So record, play, record, play. So it just recorded in. Now what I'm going to do is disable them. Now we're going to create a new kit. So let's enter in. Shift kit. Now it's going to load that resample. I can hold down on the knob. We can choose slice. Now it says number of slices. If I want to go in that's what's called the lazy chop, just push down the left right knob. Now we're in that view. All you have to do is press on this grid here where you want to slice. Now push down on the select knob and it just loaded those 4 slices in. Now what I normally do is press shift on the bottom left pad, and this is how you change the sample mode. So hold effect entire and turn to cut, and now we can exit. I always go effect entire, turn the volume down a little, so we can draw out those slices any way that we want to. If I want to change the automation on it, for example, there's cutoff, for example, and just record. Maybe make it fade in here. Now let's turn to resonance. I can turn that up a little. So here I have this column, which is a drum kit. There's a bunch of beats I already made. Here's an audio line in synth. We have 2 recorded in audio clip tracks. Here's a kit track made of resample slices. And then here we have a blank audio clip. We're going to make sure we're in blue mode, hold down on the pad, and we're just going to copy it out. Make sure we're in green mode, press play. Let's actually record into this audio clip, adding the drums. And there it is. Now let's switch it up. Press this drum, see what happens. So that seems like a longer clip, so it's taking longer to close out. Let's go into it. Let's say I want to cut it down, so zoom out. Press the end of the audio clip, and let's bring it into here, for example. Let's copy that down, trigger it, enter in. I'm going to make this one half as long, so I can switch between them if I want. Let's go over here and see what these sound like. So let's record in. Let's add some drums. Press them all. We can go into here. Let's turn down the pitch. record. Let's do these drums. Now it copied the effects that we had set up for the previous. So if we want to change it, just change the pitch, for example. Add some reverb. Let's see what else we got here. So if we want something without effects, I can just enable. Push them both. Done. Now let's do something else. Let's actually switch it up while it's recording. Now it's just manually switching and it's recording it. Let's close it out. Now that's going to loop what we just created. So let's mess it up. So I'm going to choose it. Let's copy it right over here. Now we're going to press both so it just enables this one. I'm going to go in, press clip. Let's say change the frequency. So I'm zooming to 16th notes on the first screen. Let's make it fade out like this. So I'll make it fade out. Etc. You can go through and change all the amounts. Let's go and zoom all the way out. Let's just fade in the reverb at the beginning. Add some delay in here, just randomly. Go to the delay rate. Let's change that. So we can just keep recording things in. Record performance in. Close out. Now I could record that in to here. And we're going to go in here. Let's close out. Disable that. Now that's recorded into it. Let's copy that down. Let's go into the pitch, for example. We can change the pitch. We're going to go into here, play with the pitch. Now let's go and change the decimation levels. I can also add some reverb. Add some delay. Let's change the delay rate. Let's record that onto here. Go real fast. Select something else randomly. Enable beats, everything on top of it. So I just loaded a different file in. Here we have an internal synth engine running through some crazy automation effects. I have it sidechained to the drum column here. So there's a couple of beats. Then I have blank audio clip. And the audio clips are sourced to the Deluge output with effects. So green mode, enable record, just press play. You can hear the crazy synth. Now it's an internal synth engine. And I'm just going to record that loop right in. And there it is. Now what I'm going to do is add some drums. So we're going to press these three pads. So drums, synth, and then the new pad. You can hear the sidechain, everything. Now let's record something different. So I'm going to press something here. Just going to record it. Now that's playing it. Now I'm going to do right here. I can switch between them. Now let's copy this over. I'm going to enter in. I'm just going to press left, right, knob, back. Making sure it's 1 bar. Now I'm just going to record in. And we're just going to play around with the effects now. So there's pitch. Add some reverb. Delay. If I want to edit the automation of it, just press clip. We can see what we've already automated. I'm going to go into pitch. Let's change it. Now what I'm going to do is just, while it's recording, now record's still on, so I'm just going to record down here. Now when I close out, it's going to sound different because it's copying down all the settings. We could even record right into here. Now let's record something different over here. Make sure we're in green mode. Let's press all these pads. Record. Record that in. Now it's gonna record. Keep all the settings from the above clip here. That's why I'm keeping them separate. Say I want that to be recorded down in here. Maybe let's add some more drums. Let's copy this down. I'm going to enter in. Just make it that short. And we're going to switch to it. So let's record that up here. Now it's just playing that with all the effects from the previous clip. So I can change that. Now I can change all the settings on here too. So let's record. Now all those effects also added in. So let's change the effects. Let's add some more drums on top of it. We just switch between what we just recorded in. Change the effects. You can scroll down. Let's record this in down here. Enable it. I can go in here. Let's maybe cut out this part. Now it's skipping over, doing that part. Let's record that in with more drums. It's going to change because it's in that effects column. Hold down shift and smush it so it's faster. Go back down. You can change the tempo. Add some more drums. Now let's just enable this. Record. Now it's triggered. Now it's right there. Let's record that over here. Now, I'm just going to change the pitch on it. Add some drums. We're going to record that in. There we go. Now we have an entire column full of different sounds. When you're in this mode, make sure not to press any of the section colors because it got pretty chaotic. Sometimes it might work, sometimes it might not. This time it looks like it's all working just fine. Change the tempo. Form mode, play around with it. I can lock in effects. Then say record that out. Oh, let's enable, record. Turn it all off. Now it's just recording it in. Now we're in that clip, so all the settings are different, so we can mess around with it. Turn down the delay. Add some drums. You can hear it sidechain. So it's pumping against that kick drum. Left, right, now back, clears up. Let's create new audio clip. Blue mode, choose the clip, hold it down, press select. Now it's ready to record. Let's just press play. We're in green mode. Press record, enable it, and record all this in. Let's disable, push them all in. Now that's all recorded into the one clip. If I can zoom out, I can see the position where we are. So nice and long. You can also change the effects on this one.